The prospect of war between two neighboring countries is not only a grave concern for the nations involved but for the entire region. Recent tensions between Nigeria and Niger Republic have raised eyebrows, prompting discussions on the potential repercussions. Here's a deeper look into why war between these nations could be catastrophic, not just for them, but for West Africa as a whole. ECOWAS at risk. At the heart of West Africa's unity is ECOWAS, Economic Community of West African States, an organization that has tirelessly worked to ensure economic cooperation and political stability. A war, however, could lead to the disintegration of this vital body. Such an event would not only reverse decades of progress but would escalate conflicts in the region, putting countless lives and livelihoods at risk. The shadow of the armed industrial West. War, unfortunately, is big business. The armed industrial West has a history of exploiting regional conflicts to sell arms. Such a war could see the West African region flooded with weapons, escalating violence, and making peace even more elusive. Moreover, with the region's vast natural resources, there's a risk of further exploitation by external powers, keen to capitalize on the chaos. Socioeconomic ramifications. The immediate human cost of war is evident, but the long-term effects can be even more devastating. A conflict would likely lead to increased poverty, insecurity, insurgency, and terrorism. The very fabric of society could unravel, with families torn apart, communities destroyed, and a generation of youth lost to the horrors of war. Superpowers' new battleground. The ongoing ideological war between the West and the East has already divided much of the globe. A new conflict in West Africa could make the sub-region a fresh battleground for these superpowers. With their vast resources and strategic interests, their involvement could drastically escalate the conflict, making a regional issue a global one. Questioning the cause. It's essential to question the reasons behind any conflict. A bloodless military coup, while concerning, shouldn't be a catalyst for a regional war. Every sovereign nation has its trajectory, and regional interventions can often complicate matters, leading to prolonged conflicts. Nigeria's strategic interests. For Nigeria, war with Niger Republic doesn't align with its broader strategic interests. Historically, Nigeria has prioritized diplomacy and peace in its foreign policy approach. Engaging in a conflict would contradict this stance, alienating allies and creating new enemies. The logistical nightmare. Wars are not only devastating but also costly. Given that Niger shares its borders with 8 countries, 5 of which are currently under military rule, the logistics of such a war would be a nightmare. Moreover, Nigeria would likely bear the brunt of the war's financial burden, straining its economy and diverting funds from essential development projects. Repercussions for northern Nigeria. The cultural, historical, and economic ties between northern Nigeria and Niger are deep-rooted. Consequently, northern Nigeria would face the most severe repercussions from such a conflict. The intricate relationships, trade ties, and shared cultural practices would all suffer, leading to further regional destabilization. Political implications. Politically, a war could be detrimental for Nigeria's leadership. Such a conflict could lead to significant loss of support for President Tinubu, particularly from the Muslim North. This loss of political capital could have ripple effects throughout Nigeria's political landscape. For the sake of regional stability, economic progress, and the well-being of millions, it's imperative for both Nigeria and Niger Republic to prioritize dialogue and diplomacy. History has shown that wars rarely bring lasting solutions. Instead, they sow seeds of future conflicts. In a world increasingly interconnected, the focus should be on building bridges, not walls.